Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Leslie presents. And now your host, Paul Leslie.
I'm your host, Paul Leslie. We've got a special guest today, Koney Ferrell, a multi-instrumentalist in the band A1A, the official and original Jimmy Buffett tribute show. How's it going, Koney?
Great, Paul. How are you?
Wonderful. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to be a full-time member in A1A.
Well, I'm the new kid on the block with A1A. I've been a musician in the Atlanta area for well over 30 years. Met Jeff about 20 years ago, and he and I worked together in various duos and bands. The duo that we started out with, we were probably the precursor to A1A because we certainly were doing a lot of Buffett back then. And Scott met through Jeff, did some studio work with him with the local artist Keith Robinson on a album, I Am an Animal, that I played bass on, and Scott was a drummer. So over the years, I played on and off with A1A around the Atlanta area. And when Scott had his surgery and was sidelined, I came in to pitch hit so the band could carry on. And once he got back on his feet, we all just decided that we would kind of carry on as a three-piece and move on to the next level.
And the new album, Ship Happens, is a change from A1A's traditionally Buffett covers. How did Ship Happens come about, and what part did you play in creating Ship Happens?
Ship Happens was the inspiration of Brent Jones, coordinator of the 2003 Parrot Head cruise, that suggested well, Jeff and I were hired for the cruise, and he suggested we bring some CDs to sell. And all we had were the existing Buffett covers that A1A had done. So he said, well, why don't y'all write some stuff? And that's exactly what we did. Started out to where Jeff and I started writing over the internet, which was kind of interesting because our schedules conflicted with us being able to sit down and actually work on stuff. So we would pass ideas back and forth via MIDI files. So we had about 3 or 4 songs that he and I had written. Jeff wrote a couple by himself, wrote one with Scott, and a couple of his other songwriting partners as well. So in about the course of about 6 weeks, we then had a finished product.
And you wrote the song Don't Look Now, which is a change of direction from the other trop rock tunes on the album, and has received some airplay on some various blues stations. What inspired that song?
That song came about after attending a blues concert in Atlanta a few days before we actually started writing material. And I remember one of the songs they were talking about having an addiction, or the slang for addiction, a Jones. So realizing that when you look at the Parrot Heads, how devoted they are to Jimmy, it's almost like they have an addiction within themselves. And so I decided I thought it would be, kind of a cute idea to write about their addiction toward Jimmy Buffett as kind of an ode to the Parrot Head. And also it was kind of my attempt at maybe creating tropical blues.
So, Koney, tell us about your role in A1A and some of the instruments that you play.
Well, in A1A, I serve as a utility player, adding mandolin, steel guitar, bass, to kind of round out missing instrumentation, while also adding background vocals with Scott. In A1A, when they see me playing mandolin, a lot of times people think that I'm playing a little baby guitar because I tend to overdrive it, distort it, play it like a rock and roll guitar. And also play lap steel. The steel that I have is one that you wear, not like a traditional one that either sits in your lap or is on stands. I also play 8-string bass, which has been a lot of fun here lately because we've just been playing guitar, bass, and drum pieces with the band. And other instruments I play is the Chapman stick, which is a 10-string tapping instrument. Play dobro, tenor banjo, guitar, and keyboards.
I want to thank Koney Ferrell of A1A for being my guest today. Koney, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks, Paul. Great to be here, and looking forward to seeing everyone on the road this summer.
If you would like more information on Koney Ferrell, you can visit him on the web at www.koneyferrell.com.